Oh, hi, everyone. Happy Valentine's Day to you. I am glad you're all here. Thank you for being flexible and meeting me a little bit early tonight. And like I said, I'm trying to keep our shows less than an hour so we can hop in, hop out, get exactly what we need, and move on feeling uplifted and inspired. So, with that, I have a lot of questions that came in for this week. And more than likely, I won't get to all of them, but that's okay. I think I'm going to do a pop up show on Sunday where I can get to a few more questions. So, whether you're tuning in live or just catching this at a later time, it all works. Um, one thing that I say often is I request a most benevolent outcome, that my light shines brightly far and wide, aligning with all those who meet my highest and best, and me theirs. And so I trust completely in that alignment. When you find this video, um, that you were meant to, and exactly at that time. So, okay, I am, and I probably need to get used to saying, I'm Betsy Grady, and I am hosting Akashic Records After Dark. Even though it's still really sunny, I might have to come up with a new name for the spring and summer season. So if y'all think of anything clever, you're always welcome to send me a little suggestion. So for now, it's Akashic Records while the sun is setting. And I am going to read the Akashic Prayer, and then I'll take a moment to connect, do what I need to do to kind of tap into all of that energy. And then we'll see what message the guides have, and then we will jump into some questions. I always recommend when I read the prayer, if it's comfortable for you, let yourself relax. If you feel like it, close your eyes and just let yourself be open and give yourself permission to receive whatever you need to receive tonight. And remember, even if you don't have a question, you didn't submit one, it doesn't matter. And because somebody's probably going to ask a question that you needed the answer to, and it may not even be a question you would ever even think to ask, yet the answer might be something you needed to hear. So it's really funny how that works. Somebody can ask a question, and the answer that comes through for that particular question, that particular individual, it's like 10 of us needed to hear that message, and because of something going on in our lives. And what I think is just so cool is that your guides, my guides, all of us, they are orchestrating this show. They are orchestrating the questions that come in together, and they are orchestrating who's lining up, to listen and get these answers. And so it's just so powerful when you think about, what's in spirit there around you and us, that's really helping us, really on our side, and, leading us to things that just is a little bit easier, um, or happier, or whatever we might need, comforted. Um, it's all relative. We all need something a little different, right? Okay, so I'm clearly chatty today, so I'm going to take a second. I'm going to read the prayer. So go ahead and close your eyes and relax, and then I will let you know when we are ready. Okay. I ask God if He will have a shield of love and truth around you permanently, so only God's love and truth will exist between you and me. I allow the masters, teachers, and loved ones of you to channel through me out of whatever realm to say whatever they wish. I ask the permission of the Lords of the Akashic Records, so I'm able to look into the records of you and remove whatever information I'm allowed. Okay, give me 1 second here. Okay. Okay. So, how we are going to start this evening, if you'll notice, I wore red today. The sun is really starting to break through. And I wore red because it's Valentine's. And I just thought, why not? And the guides want to talk a little bit about that, a little bit about color and what you wear. And, I read a long time ago, I was reading a book on auras. I think it was by Ted Andrews, has written phenomenal books. They're all really, really old, but they're still, I mean, he was a pioneer in the metaphysical community. And he had said, um, that people tend to wear the color of how they're feeling. And I thought that was so interesting. And I've just kind of paid attention to that, throughout my life since knowing that. And it's true. And one thing you can use this to your advantage is if you want to, evoke some feeling. Maybe you're really struggling to be in a upbeat, positive mood sometimes. Sometimes we wake up with the blues. We do. We just get up on that side of the bed. And if you just need a little boost of energy or positivity, then you could choose to wear yellow or you could choose to wear orange. And knowing how colors really affect us can help you navigate the day. And this is just a little tidbit, a little tool that the guides want to share is look at what you're wearing right now. Does it match how you're feeling? It probably is going to be pretty close. Or does it match how you want to feel? And so think about that in the morning when you are getting ready for your day. And I know when I was in the corporate world, and if I had big meetings that I needed to feel like a little bit more powerful or confident, or I had to do some presentation, I would often wear red. I had it on me somewhere, but I would often have that color on because it's a power color. Red is about passion, but it's also our life force energy. And so think about what colors mean to you. We can look at what the chakras mean, go follow the colors from that way. We can look at just what green, say, is my favorite color. And some people would say, oh, that's the color of the heart chakra, and it is. It absolutely is. It's also the color of money and abundance. And it's the color of, I like to say, new beginnings, because I always think of that grass growing in the spring and it's just a fresh new color. So for me, green can mean lots of things and it might mean something totally different to you. And what you want to do is go with what resonates for you and just trust that. And just because green means something to me that doesn't mean to you, doesn't matter. It's what it makes you feel. So let's see here. The guides want me to tell you just to think about all the different colors and the basics. We can look at yellow means joy and optimism. Now, orange can also mean new beginnings because it's also the color of birth and that sacral chakra, creativity. So it can be new beginnings just as much as that green can be that spring green. Brown. Brown is a color. Think of it as being grounded. If you It's the color of dirt, but it's also you can think of as being kind of industrial, like it's a working color, like I'm going to get down to business today and I want to be really focused. So brown may be a color you choose. Blue, now blue, there's so many shades of blue. And you think about, gosh, light blue is it's a wonderful color. It's often associated with the Virgin Mary, so it could be a very divine color. Blue is often represents wisdom and our intuition. Blue can mean the deeper shades of blue can mean a sense of devotion. So just think about that. What colors mean what to you? And look them up if you want to and see if something resonates because aura colors are a little bit different than chakra colors that are a little bit different than what I call body-based colors, if that makes sense. Like, for example, red, like I said, is blood, life force. It's that pure energy. And if you look at a deeper red, maybe a brick red or the muddier shade of red, it could mean dried blood, right? It could mean something that's old, an old wound. So that's a body-based color. So like I said, Colors take on lots of meanings for lots of different people, and go with what works for you, but use colors to your advantage. If something makes you feel good and you just need to feel good today, then wrap that color around you. If you've been wanting to change your bedroom into a particular color, do it. It really does make a difference. It's a tool that you can be using all day long, every day. What a fun way to start. Okay, so hi everyone. Thanks for joining. Okay, now, like I said, I'm going to start with questions that came into my email, and I'm going to try and get to everybody tonight. And even happy Valentine's Day to you that are getting questions in on the channel. So let's see. Some of these questions are long, so I'm going to paraphrase to save us a little bit time here. Okay, so the first question says, "Hi, Betsy. My brother passed away recently from suicide. Since that time, my enthusiasm and inspiration for my job has really dried up, and I'm questioning my path. Is this due to grief, or am I being called to new direction?" Let's see here. Do my guides or my brother parents on the other side have a message for me? I feel really sad and lost. Thank you for considering my question. Okay. So that's a lot. That's a lot to have going on. And to lose someone to suicide, that's suicide is tough. It's tough for the ones of us left behind that are dealing with the aftermath of that. So I really feel for you in having to be here, it sounds like, without your parents and your brother. And you have every right to be sad and feel lost. Absolutely. So, what message would be helpful for you tonight? Okay, so what I'm hearing for you is that the job that you've had, the enthusiasm for it, mhm, and the reason that that's lost right now for you is because you know what? Your well has been tapped. It's like you don't really have a whole lot to give others right now, and really because you receive. And so, what I am hearing for you is that the work that you do for others needs to be the way you're nurturing yourself right now. So, if it's within your power right now to step back from working and take some time off and really put yourself on the other side of that, um, it would be really helpful to you right now. And so if you could just give yourself permission to receive, receive, receive. So part of it is you don't have what you need to be giving, and that's okay. That is exactly where you need to be right now. Part of it is you need to allow yourself to learn to receive, if that makes sense, and allow yourself to be comfortable being vulnerable. And so there's real growth happening for you here in that way. And yes, I am hearing that it's going to lead to a new career path for you. And if you could just be open right now to every day how you're feeling and acknowledge how you're feeling and be okay with that. Let go of judging it. Nothing is not good or bad. It's just where you are. And this is how you're processing the loss. And it might be different again, like the colors, like different for somebody else. We all process grief in our own ways. So I am hearing, take a step back, let yourself receive. Go to some yoga classes for you, and it might be yin yoga, it might be restorative yoga, but just let yourself receive, let yourself be nurtured. And one of the things I'm hearing that would be really helpful is to be out walking. They said nature would do real wonders for you right now, and you might find the career path that's going to show up for you is going to be a little bit of a combination of what you already do for work, and yet it's going to have a different slant to it. Um, so take note of this time, and your guides are wanting me to tell you that you're very intuitive and that something in you is feeling encouraged to be open to something new in your life, a new path. And that will take care of itself. It will unfold on its own. There's nothing you have to do or effort to be there. And as far as messages from the other side, okay, one thing that I'm hearing, and this is a collective message from you, from those in spirit, and it's like they are huddled around you and they are super excited. And this may be hard to realize, but they are super excited and they're kind of like, there's a plan at play here. There's something in the works for you. And one day this is all going to make sense. Why you are where you are here, why these things have happened. It will all make sense. They're saying, give it about 3 years. That's what they're telling me. But it's not going to take 3 years to feel better, but it's going to make sense in 3 years. And they are guiding and encouraging and leading you. And they appreciate you being open to connecting with them. They said you're already feeling them around, and they're so grateful for that. And they've got more to bring. There's more to come. And they know you can't get excited about it right now, yet you will. And if you could just feel their love around you, that's all you need to do right now. There's more love than you could possibly even imagine surrounding you. Mhm. They are, one of them, I'm not sure which, wants me to tell you to wear the color blue for some reason. It might match your eyes. It might make you feel good. I don't know what that's about. It might match one of their eyes. I'm not sure, but I'm having to shift here with the sun. Hang on. Okay. So hopefully that was helpful to you. Okay. So would it be in my best interest to cancel the scheduled divorce mediation and go to court instead? Okay. So just because it's Valentine's doesn't mean it has to be all roses and romance, does it? You know what? Love is love is love. And when you love yourself, you take care of yourself. And that is most important. And so, in answer to your question directly, yes, I'm hearing you two are intuitive and that it would be helpful for you to cancel the mediation and just go straight to court. And part of it is it would be a waste of time and money. And um, looks like court, you would get right down to business and there more would be resolved. Um, so it does look like that's in your highest and best interest. Absolutely. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, I'm going to go. So, this one, I have 3 questions here. I'm going to see here. Well, I'm going to start here. What do my guides want me to know about my daughter's med school journey and her future residency? Everything seems to be on such shaky ground, and she seems very disheartened. Okay. And then, why do I keep seeing a hawk? I've seen it where I am here. It's always just so close, a few feet away, weirdly close. Okay, let's see what the guides have to say for that. So, your daughter's med school journey and the residency, I'm not sure what's going on there, but it looks like this is a deciding point for her, a deciding time for her to either decide to stick with it or to choose something else. So it's almost like a time for her to get clear on how she wants to be here and what she wants to do. It does look like there is some, what I would call some divine interference, if that makes sense, to really get her to a place of clarity on what she wants to do. So, one of the things that I'm hearing is that her med school program was a decision that she made from the head, and it's not necessarily a decision she made from the heart, and that's where this conflict is sitting. And so, This is a time for her to get really clear with her heart. And you, as her mother, you are so wonderful and supportive and non-judgmental. If you could really guide her to that clarity, as in, hey, honey, what's in your heart? You know what you decide today is really going to shape so much of your life. And it doesn't matter if you want to get out of med school or change entirely. It doesn't matter. And it's really get her to get in touch with her heart. And it might be she needs to take, 3 to 6 months off and just do a retreat, whether it's, a vinyasa, a Vipassana retreat, or maybe go on just a long hike somewhere, maybe the El Camino, in Spain. And it might be that she just needs to do something like that to clear her mind and to really understand what's in her heart. So if that's something that you could suggest to her, take some time off, really decide, that could be really helpful to her. But that's what it sounds like. It's like her head and her heart aren't connected right now. And once they are, there's forward motion again. And then she'll be supported and she'll feel that flow. So that I like that. Okay, so the hawk. Let's see, what does the hawk mean? Okay. Hawks. In the animal kingdom, hawks tend to bring that message of focus. And because you think about a hawk, man, their precision, their eyesight is amazing, like all birds. But hawks in particular, they can see things from so far away. So they tend to bring within that energy. It's interesting that this one is coming down and close to you. So, what I am hearing is that this is a visitor. This is someone in spirit that is trying to show you that they're with you. So, it looks like you too need a little extra support right now. And this is someone here. I'm trying to see if I can see who it is that's coming in. Hmm. I can't tell if it's a mother or father energy. Hang on here, but it's definitely someone it feels like father coming in. It's a male energy that is wanting to show you is there for you right now, for you to ask for their help and support because it's there, but they want you to acknowledge it. So don't be surprised if you start finding hawk feathers too. Um, but it does look like in this instance, it is support from a loved one in spirit. It does feel like father energy. Um, could be grandfather energy or somebody who played that role for you, um, of guidance and support. So, yeah, hopefully that is helpful to you. But I would say, if anything, know you're more supported than ever. So really start using that support and that help around you. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Okay, here's one. I have often wondered when or if I will marry and have a child. Okay, let's see. Okay. I do see marriage. I'm asking your guides to show me if there's anything that is lining up for you. Now, remember, I'm just going to tell you, I have to shift again with the sun. It's crazy bright tonight. Um, so, when we see things in the future, remember, and it's just like we talked with Kim on her show, Intuitive Show. If you saw that, people that do what I do will see trajectories, I like to say, things that are lining up in the future. So we might could see 5 different trajectories going on, and which means it's gathering energy. There's momentum that's moving towards something. And we will tend to really see the ones that have the most momentum, if that makes sense. Now, some things are planned, as in we write it in our soul contract to have certain experiences, to meet certain people. Those things we do plan out. And just as much as we plan out where we're born and who our parents are. So, there are things we plan out in our future. There are things we write in as possibilities, if that makes sense. Um, so, for you, what I was going to say is they are showing marriage being in your future. I don't get a timeline around it, but I can see it. They're giving me a vision of it, and it being a happy time. It actually looks like not a huge wedding by any means. It looks really small and intimate, and it looks like there's lots of, feels like it's outdoors, more in a mountainous area, I would say. Doesn't feel like out at the beach or anything like that. It just feels, mm, yeah, it just feels mountainous is the best way I could put it. But they are showing that. As for a child, they are giving me an image of you holding an infant in your arms. Um, Give me a second here. Does feel like it's biological. Like you will give birth to one child. I see one. And I'll tell you this, the marriage feels like that is 100% something you wrote into your soul's plan to experience this lifetime. The child still feels like not quite sure that that's a done deal or not. I can see it, but I would say it's still at about a 50-50 if you're going to have a child or not. So you could not. Um, I'm trying to see what might influence that decision there. So, what they're telling me is the person you will meet has a soul very similar to yours, and there's an adventurer soul to it here, a wanderer kind of thing, is what they're saying. And you may decide, and this looks like the deciding point for you, that you want to keep adventuring together and you want to keep exploring and traveling and being and doing. And you may decide together not to have children because you almost want to have this kind of nomadic existence, if that makes sense. The freedom and flexibility to go be do whatever you want. And yet at the same time, your love, I would say, will be strong enough that you almost want to see what you create together. So that's still to be determined. I wish I could give you a clear on that, but there's not a clear one to have on the child part. Okay. Thank you for sending that in. Okay, here's another one. I have been invited to join a spiritual pilgrimage to Bali in June of 2025. I feel drawn to go. What do the guides say? All right, let's see here. I am hearing yes, it's in your highest and best interest to go. There are some personal things that you will break through, not actually in being in Bali. It looks like leading up to going. And so for some reason, I don't want to say this is taking you out of your comfort zone a little bit, but what they're saying is the mental process and the heart process of bringing these two together to go to Bali is where your work's going to lie. And so between now and that time to go, is looks like the personal work for you is going to happen, and that might be breaking through some emotional stuff, some mental stuff. Not sure, but what the guides are saying is the journey of getting ready to go is the most important part for you. And so that when you do go to Bali, it's like just this stepping into a spiritual reservoir that you can immerse yourself in and again receive. And so your personal work, mental, emotional, I would say, might even be physical, is going to happen between deciding to go and actually going. So I love that. That's kind of cool. Often we think we're going for, the experience there, and sometimes it's not about that at all. How about that? Okay. Okay, here's another one. Things in my present circumstances have changed, and I would like some insight on whether the guidance I received about my future path has changed. Okay. Well, I would say yes. There has been, and what your guides are telling me, and I don't know if this will make sense to you, but I just have to say it how it comes in. They are telling me, yes, there's been a slight shift to the left for some reason. I don't know what left means. Um, but they're saying there's been a slight shift to the left. And so that is affecting your future a little bit, but in a good way, I'm hearing. They are telling me to tell you to watch for those green lights and open doors, not to resist what's on your path, to let yourself be pulled through a little discomfort, just a little. They are, now this is really funny. They are telling me that a sign they're sending you that you are on your path is panda bears. So watch how they start showing up around you. Now, again, that could be a video you come across, online. It could be a story that drops in your feed. It could be a cartoon that or a sticker somebody has on their car. But they are telling me pandas are going to be your sign that um, you're being supported, that things are going your way, and to trust in this process. That is not a common sign, I would say. But that's kind of funny. Um, and it feels playful, which the guides are always playful, and they want to bring that energy into where you are. Since circumstances have changed a little bit for you, they want you to have fun with this and kind of let yourself be open to be surprised. Does it make sense? Like, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm just going to go with it, and I'm going to trust that my highest and best is being served. If you can hold that attitude, it looks like that would be really helpful. But yes, things are changing. Okay. All right, here. Let's see. Here's one. Okay. I got a new job. I am a sales manager now for 2 hotels. It's new and exciting and very fast paced. It appears that like I'm doing well, but can we ask the guides if this is something that I will continue to be highly successful in? Do they see me still being in the same city, location, and job by the end of the year? Or any roadblocks and hurdles I should be aware of? Okay. Well, congratulations on the new job. That's exciting. I am hearing that this is perfect alignment for you and that you will be very successful. And this feels like something you're going to actually want to do for a long time. It does look like it's going to lead to more for you. And I'm hearing more connections, more money, more joy, just because the job itself looks really rewarding in some way. And it might be because of the connections that you're making. And um, does look like travel is a part of this for you. And I would say there's also more education coming for you. So you might be sent to learn different things. I don't know what that's about, but does look like the who you're working for is willing to invest in you and let you learn and give you the tools, whatever you might need to do your job better. So that feels extremely supportive. Does look like you're really going to appreciate being in this industry. Um, it does feel like a long time. Okay. I'm not seeing roadblocks and hurdles. Let me see. Same city, job at the end of the year. Yes, I would say you'll still be where you are in the same job at the end of this year, and looks like the same city too. But that all feels good. For some reason, that feels good. Um, Mhm. Like that's happening for a reason. The one thing I'm hearing to tell you about this job for you is not only the success that you're having career wise, but the connections are really important. And you might find you end up with such a sense of community that you really want to stay in the city you're in a little bit longer. So that looks like that has shifted for you as far as not, going to other cities, living somewhere else. But I do think you'll travel. You'll still get your travels into other cities and visits and stuff, just not moving. At least doesn't look like it right now. Okay. Thank you for sending your question in. Okay. Hang on, y'all. Okay. Let me go. Y'all are so patient. Okay. Thank you. All right. My question. I'm a pretty positive person, but when night comes and darkness falls, my mind worries. I can't stop worrying the worrying mind. The worry is usually about my youngest granddaughter, who is my greatest treasure. I know you won't recall this, but I had a reading with you years ago when you told me that one of my daughters was going to have a child that possessed the soul of my full term, stillborn first child. I honestly believe my granddaughter, who's now 3 years old, is the soul of this child that I lost, who went to heaven with God. But why, oh, why can I not stop worrying about her? Any form of comfort you can pass to me would be very much appreciated. Ooh, that's big, isn't it? And I know so many of you out there who have children and grandchildren may recognize the soul of someone you lost in them. And that happens oh so often, more often than you could possibly imagine. And so, on a little side note from that, it's because we have soul groups that we keep coming back around with. And we have, immediate people in our soul groups. We have, well, I won't go into that whole discussion, but that's why we often recognize people or get a hint of someone like her. She lost this child many years ago and still really feels that connection to him in this out of children she has. In this one, she can feel that connection. These are the kind of things you've got to trust the resonance, that's happening for you because it is there. You are so much wiser, when you step out of your mind and you trust what you just know within your heart. So, for you asking the question, when night comes, it's funny. I had somebody ask this in a reading last week that they have the most beautiful day, positive, uplifting, but as soon as the night starts to come, they start to get sad. And um, it's so interesting. So, one things your guides would want you to know, and this goes for everyone, so they're so glad you asked this question. When the sun begins to set, it's almost like that signal that the day is over. And so, we do have a little grief there. And and it's like the nighttime brings the shadows. And so for some of us, the shadow stuff comes up, the things that we fear, the things that we haven't quite worked through, the feelings that we try and ignore during the day. And so your guides would have you understand that that sadness that you're feeling, that worry that you're feeling is actually there all day, but you are distracting yourself from it. And so they would have you in the morning. They said they would have you just look around in your mind's eye or just sit with yourself, feel whatever you need to feel. And the things that you might still have grief about, say hello to them in the morning and understand how they've shaped you and your life and who you are today and where you are today. So when you can look at a situation like losing your child, and losing a child, I think is the hardest thing on the planet anybody could go through. I do. And losing a child full term, stillborn, I just can't even imagine, the pain with that. So that grief is going to still sit in there. But if you can look at where you are now and understand how that experience changed you and how it made you more sensitive, how it made you more compassionate, more wise, whatever that might be, appreciate what you mined from that situation that you wouldn't have otherwise. They said that would be helpful. So you have that worry that loss is going to happen again. So that is still active. And they said that's not going to happen. You had that one experience, and that was something your soul wrote in. And so thinking about your granddaughter who you know is that soul, they said you're not going to lose her again. You're not. That's already happened. It was in your experience. And one of the things they're saying, now this is going to be helpful to everyone, is we often have irrational fears that we may know where they come from, we may not know where they come from. And they would encourage you to really look at your fears. Look at because the fears are that shadow stuff that comes out at night. Um, Part of it too at night, it's when things get quiet. It's when things slow down and there's less distraction. And so it's like, oh, things start to come front and forward. And you know how when you're sleeping and you wake up in the middle of the night or you have dreams, they come because we're not distracted and they can get through to us. So that just kind of par for the course when the sun sets. Yet, when you're very aware and you're hyper aware and you're facing all you need to, you can lessen the anxiety around it. And there's something, I don't know if y'all have heard of microcurrent neurofeedback. If you haven't, look it up. And look it up, see if it exists anywhere around you. But it's a really gentle way. It's totally non-invasive. It's like a 5-minute thing, but electrodes are put on your head, and it's like your brain is stimulated in a way that it's comfort and soothed, and it resets the patterns in your brain that trauma has set in motion, if that makes sense. And that would be something for you to check out and see if there's someone near you that does that. And it could really help you with the grief, the old trauma that you suffered, and any anxiety that has just been there from all of that. So I think that would be really helpful to you. But I'm hearing again, you're not going to have that loss again. That you've taken care of that already, so to speak. It's just doesn't look like it's going to happen again. So thank you for sending in your question. Okay. Let me see here. Oh, all right. I'm going to get to this one here. Hi, Betsy. Do you see me buying a home, or will I buy my mom's house? Okay. Let's look there. Well, I'm hearing to tell you the easiest thing to do would be to get your mom's home. Yet, for some reason, it feels like something different is lining up for you. And if I were you, I would be open to something different. And just hang on here. Yeah, it just feels like there's something different lining up for you that would feel much better to you. Not that your mom's home is bad or anything like that. It just feels like not part of the plan right now for you. Um, mhm. What I am hearing is something fresh for you, new energy for you. Uh, the word, and I'm not saying it'll be a brand new house that you're getting, but it'll be new energy for you, a new place to be. Um, And it feels like that is what your soul is trying to call forth, if that makes sense. Mhm. I'm trying to see if I can get any information around your mom's house that would be helpful for you. And I'm also looking at a timeline, so for you, just in case they show. Feels like you'll buy a house this year. Might not be till the latter part of the year, but it does feel like it. And timelines can slide around, you know, but it does feel like more towards the end of this year. It does feel like it'll happen in this year. Um, mhm. And it actually feels fun, I would say, to look at something new and to think differently than how you've been thinking. Feels like your mom's house. I don't know if that's an obligation there that you might have, but just doesn't feel right for you right now. Not saying in 10 years from now it could be different, 15 years now, just doesn't feel right for you right now, if that makes sense. Okay. All right, you guys. We are at about 45 minutes in. I'm going to see if the guides have a parting message for us. Let me see. They want to thank everyone for joining. They're always so full of gratitude. If I had to say two main things that they send forth is gratitude and playfulness. And they they are so appreciative that they get to share this message with you. Gratitude and playfulness. They are, I think somebody one time asked on one of the shows about the numbers 369, and Nikola Tesla always said, if you could understand 369, you could understand, the universe. Well, the guides say if you could understand gratitude and playfulness, you would have keys to the universe. And so they would have you go about your week with those two things in your mind. What can I be, more playful about? How can I be more grateful? Um, and how can you incorporate those into your everyday? And you may not do it all day, every day. You may only can focus on it once a day. Doesn't matter. But they are saying the keys to the universe rest within gratitude and playfulness. Now, that's pretty cool. That has not come through before. So I love that. And with that, we are done tonight. Um, like I said, if you can think of other names to call Akashic Records after dark because it's going to start saying sunny longer, send me some messages. And again, thank you for taking time to send in your questions and for making time to join this evening or whenever you get to watch this. It's an honor to share with you and share this work and answer your questions. All right. Thank you.